Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Justin and the Food Entrepreneurs podcast. I'm Justin Bizzarro. I'm your host. That's B as in boy, I-Z-Z-A-R-R-O. And today I have with us Karl Vivier of A Cocoa Affair from Marietta, Georgia. How are you doing today, Karl?
I'm good. About you, Justin?
I'm doing very well, thank you. And Karl, tell us a little bit about how you became a food entrepreneur and your journey to where you are now.
I started as a young boy, around the age of 16. I wanted to be a chef, so I started in the food industry, food restaurant, and I was working as a prep guy, and I did my apprenticeship at school, and then I went to different restaurants on the weekend to learn the food, and got a lot of passion for cooking, flavors, and everything. So for over 25 years, I traveled to Switzerland, Belgium, and I worked in France as well. And for the past 19 years now, we've been in the U.S. So to continue my journey in the food industry, and learn different techniques, learn flavors and everything. So that's how I went into being an entrepreneur. And about 6 years ago, I was like, well, the food industry is not what I'm expecting from it anymore. So I said, well, maybe it's time for me to start my own business. And so we opened our chocolate shop, a Cacao Affair. So 6 years ago, and just, to have fun and make people discover about chocolate, which is not a big thing here in the U.S., but when people are trying chocolate, different type of chocolate that we do, and some other chocolatier are doing as well, they enjoy it, and that's what, when you see on their faces, that it's really rewarding, I would say. So that's how we kind of became a chocolatier in Atlanta, Georgia.
And so, were you already working in the United States, or you just sort of came to the United States to pursue this dream?
No, I was working in the United States. I was a chef here for a little bit over 12 years. So I worked in 2 different restaurants here. One was a French restaurant in Marietta, and then went to a corporate side in a business club restaurants. And then it's been 19 years now.
And so, Karl, tell us about your business. What do you guys produce now? What are some of the various products? I know you've been a part of the Flavor of Georgia, was how I met you. But, tell us how people can find you, what's your website, where you guys are located, but also tell us the plethora of products that you guys offer.
Well, we offer, our first starting point was to offer handcrafted chocolate here. So we're not a bean to bar shop like some other shop here in Atlanta. Maybe it's going to come one day. Who knows? But for now, we use chocolate that comes from Switzerland. And why Swiss chocolate is because it's got less sugar and has a lot of flavor. Compared to Belgian chocolate and even French chocolate, where you have more sugar. And I don't think people are looking at sugar those days, but more as they're more looking for flavors. So, and that's what we provide here. We go with classical flavors like the Grand Marnier, the orange liqueur, or a dark chocolate ganache with raspberry. So those are kind of the classical flavors, I would say. And then we have some crazy ones, like we have one with the yuzu and ginger, Japanese lemon and fresh ginger. We have one that is made with a bourbon barrel stout beer, very, very unusual. And then we can go even further on the craziness of the chocolate. Like we have one that is it's got a hazelnut nougatine at the bottom, and then a mandarin and pink peppercorn ganache. So those are kind of the flavor we like to play with. And then occasionally we do wine and chocolate pairings, which people are having a lot of fun with it, because what we do is we pair the chocolate. We make the chocolate based on the flavors and aromas of the wine. So it's a very unique experience. It's a one-time shot, I would say. So, and people are really, really enjoying that. So now people can find us on online, and our website is cacaoaffair.com. So it's a little bit hard to remember or pronounce, but usually it's Coco Affair, but that is fine. So people are finding us anyway. So, and we are based in Marietta, Georgia, north part of Atlanta, about 30 minutes from Atlanta. So not a crazy ride there. So.
And so tell me about, are most of your customers, do they just walk in, or do people like order stuff for weddings and parties? I just want to kind of understand like where your business comes from and who your customers are.
Mm-hmm. Well, we do mostly wholesale, which can range from retail stores to restaurants, hotels. We do hotel amenities for the rooms. So we can have logos of the hotels printed on chocolate, which is a nice touch and very unique things for the rooms. They are looking at more and more that kind of unique amenities, I would say. So.
Yeah, I think the hotel industry, especially, and a lot of restaurants now are trying to customize things for their customers themselves. And and people like that type of stuff. I know anytime we have a chocolate or a customized chocolate on our pillow, because we travel a lot, Deborah and I, for work, it's a pretty nice thing to have.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And then we have we do wedding favors as well. Same thing with the initials of the bride and groom on the chocolate. So it's a nice touch at a wedding. So.
I like that as well. And I gotta imagine that, things are changing quite a bit with the wedding scene, particularly in the United States, and people order stuff like chocolates and little candies for their guests to take home and things like that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And those days as well, people are looking at, they don't want the big wedding cake anymore. So they are more looking at dessert stations, things like that. And we offer macarons as well. So as part of our business. So we started with chocolate, then we extended to macaron, which is a kind of a trend right now. And the good thing is we can do the same as the chocolate on it, pretty much. We can have a logo, we can have initials printed on the macaron, which is a nice touch.
Well, and I want to explain the macaron, if you will, and I can't even say it properly. I have trouble, but it's one of my favorite things, and I definitely, when I go to Europe, particularly France, enjoy them. And I love that you have them in the United States, but I think a lot of people in the audience may not understand what they are. So could you tell us a little bit about them and how they differ from, say, your normal desserts or a cookie?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The macaron, so the pronunciation is macaron. The easy pronunciation is macaroons, but macarons and macaron are two different type of cookie. The macarons are a coconut shredded coconut cookie, and the macaron are almond and meringue cookie. Fluffy, lot of flavor, very a little bit crunchy. So that's, and then you have in between you have different fillings. So you can have buttercream in it. In the middle, you can have jam or even a fruit curd with buttercream. So there is a lot of things that goes into that little piece of cookie. It's not a big piece of cookie, but you're going to be rewarded with the flavors in it. So.
And what type of flavors do you offer in those in the macarons, if that's the right saying for that one?
Mm-hmm. Well, we have like 16 or 18 different flavors that we make here. So we have the classical vanilla, chocolate, salted caramel, pistachio. Then we can go with lavender, rose. We have one that is not popular here, but that when they try it, they really enjoy it, is the bergamot. Citrusy flavor, very refreshing, especially with the summer here. And then we have one that we submitted when we did the Flavor of Georgia contest. That was the Bourbon Bowl, which was a little bit of history behind it. That creation is, my wife and I went to Kentucky once, and we visited some distilleries, whiskey distilleries, and then we saw that a lot of people were carrying the pecans with the chocolate, the ganache, and the bourbon in it. So I was like, that might be a good things to have on our menu. So that's what we did. So we have the macaron has a dark chocolate ganache with bourbon in it, and then the pieces of toasted pecan in it. So very interesting, I would say. So.
Well, and I love that. I love all those flavors, and the pecan one I think is awesome because it's like true to Georgia where you are, and it represents Georgia as well. So I think that's pretty sweet. So, I mean, how many employees do you guys have?
We have 3 employees right now, okay. And we might be looking at one more for 4.
And so you produce this, I mean, you have a shop so people can come in and buy anything, but then you also have a backside or, back area a kitchen where you're also producing everything for catering or for hotels and things like that as well.
Yes, that's correct. Yes. Well, we started to, the idea when we started 6 years ago was to do online sales chocolates. Honestly, it didn't work the way that we wanted to be. So then we opened a little, we did a setup up front where we didn't have any equipment or anything, and we set up a little retail at our way, and now people are starting to know about it and comes more and more often. We are not in the shopping center or foot traffic area, so it's not the foot traffic that you will get from there. But people are finding us, and they're very, very pleased with the quality of the product, I think.
Yeah. So, tell me a little bit. Do you need a specific type of employee to grow this, or is it something you train people? Do they need a background in pastries and that type of chef work?
We have one employee that is doing mostly the macaron assembly, I would say. So we use. She's doing all the piping and assembling all the shells on the macaron, putting them in trays and sealing them. The other one is she's more chocolatier. She has a background of chocolate as a chocolatier, so she's doing most of her chocolate with me. So we have, and I do also the pastry as well. So.
And the diversity of the products that you're doing, you produce quite an amount of different products, from chocolate to the macarons to the pastry. So, have all these employees been with you from the beginning?
No, they haven't been from the beginning. We had a few people that were here when we started to grow, and then they left after 6 months or a year. But now we're getting those two people are a little bit steadier, I would say. One has been here for a year and a half now, and the other one started 6 months ago. So, and looks like everybody is fine here. So we'll see.
There's some cool things that you guys do. I think I'm looking at the right website at cocoaffair.com, and there's like a chocolate shoe and macarons, and there's a chocolate man shoe or a chocolate man shoe and copper. Explain to me, what are those? They're cool looking things. They definitely catch my interest. And chocolate cigars, for example.
Yes, yeah, that's another thing that gives a lot of attention. Is we make chocolate shoes, which are about the size 5, so they're not small, but those are more for the gift. So where you can use them as a cake topper as well. Now everything that is men's shoes, it's more for, well, of course, the men's for gift. Everything is pretty much for gift. And we try to be really unusual. We have a chocolate football as well, which is a life-size chocolate football. So you get almost 2 pounds of chocolate in it. So this one had a lot of, good feedback in sales when there was the final here in Atlanta. So that was a lot of fun. So. We do the cigars, the chocolate cigars, more for birthday presents or a gift. So, and we have another one that is pretty new, I would say, or not new because it's been here for about 3 months. But this one is getting a lot of good feedback as well. We have a chocolate salami, which looks like a sausage, pretty much. But it's all chocolate. There is no meat. Some people are getting worried because they're asking, "Is that chocolate and meat?" I'm like, "No, it's no. There is no meat. It's all chocolate, and it's got marshmallows, candied oranges, nuts, and other things in it." So, but it's shaped as a sausage with the sausage nest and everything. So, it's really really fun. So.
And how do you come up with these ideas? Is it something that you're just like, let's try this and see if it works and see if people like it?
Yeah. This, and also because my I would say my motto is chocolate should be fun. So it should be fun when you eat it, and it should be fun when you work with it. So anything that can be a little bit unusual. So I'm like, let's try it, have fun, and see how people are going to like it. And usually, there is a good feedback as well. So.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, all the different things you've made. I see there's eggs shaped like chocolate, big and small, like some very big ones, some purses and things like that, if I look at your social media. And so that's really just so creative, and I love where you're going with it. And so is that something, when you come up with the idea, like you handle that in your business, or is it actually something you now, once you've handled it, you train your employees how to do it as well?
No, that's something I create and then I create it, and then until we get, a good sales, then I will do the training to somebody else, so I can move on and create new things as well. So.
And I know you mentioned, chocolate should be fun to work with and also to eat. Is that how you inspire your employees? Is you let them, make sure they're having fun in their work environment with what they're doing with chocolate?
Yes, because every time we try something new, they're getting involved in the process. So that's how I think we can keep going and make people happy at work as well. So.
Yeah, I agree with that. And so, what are some of the more fun things you've done with chocolate over the last few years?
For the last few years, we've got the shoes, we got the football. I didn't really have time to, experience new things because, we started. We're still a pretty new company, so we had to get known and everything. So that was mostly getting some marketing done and everything. But now we're starting to be known. We're starting to play a little bit more with like the chocolate salami, and we're gonna do more wine and chocolate pairing as well. So that's gonna be the focus for this year, and we have planned as for the rest of the year with new items that we're gonna start. We're gonna start the chocolate coating, almonds, pistachios, blueberries, raisins. So with different flavors. So that's gonna be another fun part to play with for the rest of the year.
And what's your favorite part about being an entrepreneur?
My favorite part is to make our customer, know about chocolate. And to have them try it. It's not like you have to get excited to excite your customers. That's my thing. And when we do new things, I'm more than excited to present it to our customers and show them. We have fun, and that's how it is. So.
And so, which brings me to my next question, which is, what are some of the things you dislike the most?
Dislike the most to do. I do also to try to find new customers, like on the wholesale part. That's the hardest part, I would say, because I think we have a great product, but people are not necessarily open-minded to try, or they cannot, they are not able to bring new product, which I completely understand. But sometimes they don't want to hear about anything. They don't want to be open-minded, so it's that's the part I don't like. You can't. I completely agree that you can't. Have everybody as a customer, but at least listen to him or to her, and that's it. So
I think it's pretty awesome. And how does your family feel about it, and how much time you spend with the business and things like that, and how do you balance all of that?
That's the hardest part. My wife and I, we don't have any kids, so that's one thing that is good, I would say. But on the other hand, I don't spend much time at home with my wife, and it's not that easy to balance. We're starting to to do a little bit better. I'm starting to do a little bit better with the employee that we have, so I can delegate, I would say. So I can have a little bit more time with my wife and be at home and do stuff. So.
And I mean, what in your dreams and stuff, based on all that, I mean, do you hope to grow to a larger store? Do you hope to grow to more stores? Or you're just sort of like, this is what I have. I want to make this successful and focus on here and not spread myself too thin. So, I mean, sort of what are your dreams for your business?
Well, the dreams is not to be big. I want to stay small because you can see when you're getting too big, you are starting to get quality issues, and that's something that I really don't want. So, yeah, to have a few more customers here and there, but getting big, no, that's not something I want. I just want to do everything correctly with the same quality as the beginning. So that's the goal, to offer more product, but staying small.
And I mean, you've obviously found success in that model, in being small and sticking to your core and concentrating on it, because I mean, the chocolate and stuff and the products you're building are very specific. You're not mass producing them. I mean, they take a lot of time and effort and really human touch, and I think that's pretty amazing and pretty awesome. Is that, I mean, do you think that has a lot to do with the success that you've had so far, in that your personal touch and hands-on approach to everything?
Yeah, I think so. Yes. I think yeah, everything is made here on small batches. Nothing is industrial. So yes.
And I guess one of the questions I have is, how do you manage vendors? Because one of the things you said is your chocolate comes from Switzerland. So, I mean, how do you source that? Is there someone in America that has Swiss chocolate that you can just get, and all the resources that you need for sort of your unique products?
Yes. We mostly work with one supplier, which have European product, so it's kind of easy to get. So they carry all the things. They have, everything. Most of it is from them. So including chocolate, we got the fruit purees, we got, pretty much everything.
And so what products, I would say, what products are your favorite products? Well,
chocolate, of course. And the reason being is the brand that we use, they have different cocoa farms all around the world, and so we use one that is, our everyday chocolate, I would say, which is a 60% dark chocolate. We have a 36% milk as well, which we use, every day. But then when we do our wine and chocolate pairing, we step up on the quality, and sometimes we use only, really expensive chocolate. But it's got a lot of flavor, and it's, beautiful to work with. Very fluidity is awesome, and when you work with it, I have one that I really love. Is the one from it's a chocolate from Costa Rica. It's a 72% dark chocolate, and when we work with it, and I didn't mention that, but so chocolate need to be tempered. So we don't use any machine or anything. We temper by hand. So we have a 3-foot by 3-foot marble slab, and so we work the chocolate on it. And when you work that chocolate, that specific chocolate, you can smell tobacco, you can smell cloves into it, and it's beautiful. It's really enjoyable. It's very unique. So, and then you can taste it after in the chocolate.
That's incredible. So, I mean, you mentioned in really expensive chocolate. So, what makes chocolate expensive? Like, what are the characteristics that makes what's a bad chocolate versus a good chocolate, I guess, so the audience sort of understands the difference?
Well, the good chocolate would be the one that are so you have different cocoa beans. You have the Trinitario, the Forastero cocoa beans, which are really this. I would say this, if I recall, the Trinitario is the first one, which is very unique. It's only 15% of the global production. So when you go with that kind of chocolate, it's really expensive. Then you have the blend between the Trinitario and Forastero, which is going to be your second type of chocolate. A little bit less expensive, but still in there. So we work with cocoa beans here from around the globe. Now, what makes a bad chocolate is, I would say, the big companies who are cutting corners and making chocolate cheaper and cheaper, but that doesn't have, I mean, all you eat is sugar, pretty much for me. So you don't have any flavors. You have, there is, I mean, besides sugar, you have no chocolate. So that's what I think is good thing. I mean, good chocolate versus bad chocolate. So,
well, I think it's probably like anything else, right? The more it's like food. The more pure it is, the better it is,
yes.
or clean, I guess you would say, and that's including in chocolate. The more natural products that go into it, probably the better it is, versus cutting it with sugar or milk or whatever they cut it with nowadays, to make it cheaper. So, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
And so I just think it's interesting, and I really do agree with that. And we've had another chocolate bar company on that I've recorded with it. I haven't released the episode yet as we're talking. But one of the things that they talked about as well was the same thing, is how the world has sort of cheapened chocolate to get it to everyone in the world, but it's a really low quality product that almost can't be called chocolate anymore because it's so diluted with sugar and milk or whatever other product they want to put in there to dilute the sugar chocolate.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And so, Karl, as we sort of talk about this, I mean, I want to sort of give you the floor and let you talk about anything that you feel that the audience would be interested in about your business or about you that you want to share.
What I want to share is, I would say, try to get involved in chocolate. Like here in the U.S., it's not as big as it is in Europe, but try chocolate, try good chocolate. Give everybody, every chocolatier, real chocolatier, not the chains but the little guy that's going to be in the corner that you don't even know, you don't even see when you're driving. But if one day you get a chance to come across that chocolatier, go there and please yourself, because chocolate is what it is about. It's a personal guilty pleasure, I would say. And then if you're happy with it, then you'll come back and get more for a gift, or so people can enjoy. That's what we're trying to do here. So.
Well, and I love that, and I appreciate you taking the time to be on, Karl, from your schedule and joining us. And everyone in the audience, thank you for listening in, and please share the episode and spread the word about chocolate and Karl. And Karl, I definitely want to reach out to you in the next few months and have you back on the episode so we can really dive in deeper to some of the topics we talked about, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
And so, again, thank you for your time, and thank you, Karl. I had to go through a little bit. I was having trouble with the soundboard this morning, trying to get the podcast recorded. So thank you for your patience with that, Karl, as well, and letting me get through that little hardship. So every day is an adventure, as I always say. But thank you again, and everyone who's in the audience, thank you for listening. If you're interested in being on the podcast as a food or beverage or nutrition entrepreneur, you can reach out to me at justin@thefoodentrepreneurs.com. And you can reach out to me on Instagram and Facebook at Justin and the Food Entrepreneurs. Thank you, everyone, for listening in, and have a great day.
Thank you.